Okay, guys, welcome to the WrestleSlam special, WrestleMania. It is WrestleMania week. It is WrestleMania day. We are going out to all our fans across the world, across Ireland. First of all, lads, I'm going to drop a bomb. Becky Lynch is trending. There was a cryptic little message, which pretty much kind of spelled out day one. Is Becky Lynch going to be at WrestleMania? Ger and Elizabeth, is it happening?
You go, cause
hopefully. I think she may be there with a lot of other people. Bailey's been calling out a lot of people on Twitter last week. She called out Beth Phoenix last night. She called out Trish Stratus. So she may have a talk segment, whether night one or night two, and somebody might come out and interrupt her. And then somebody else, kind of like what Jericho did a couple of years ago, like Steamboat and the Mickey Rourke segment. Even though it won't be a match, she might just get interrupted by all these legends, and then Becky might be the last one to come out in the truck and interrupt everybody and set up a match with them or something, but not at WrestleMania, maybe following, but just to have the pop of her coming out to the music.
Yeah, like the pop is good enough, isn't it, Elizabeth? Like, when we get a pop, it's normally good enough. That kind of makes up for the match, doesn't it?
it does. I'm going to anyway. Unpopular opinion. I know. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, unpopular opinion. I'm really sorry, but I'd be thrilled to see Becky back. There is no doubt, that there's nobody like her. But only if they're going to use it in an angle. If her cryptic tweet for night one is going somewhere, great. But I still, again, unpopular opinion, I still have a bad taste in my mouth when Ronda Rousey came out after the women's match. I thought it completely took the shine off it. They could have held out for her until Raw. And I think the same for Bianca and Sasha's big match. I'm hoping that it is completely away from that picture and it is some kind of a side segment or a backstage segment that, the man has been seen or whatever. But I'd be worried I'd get the same taste in my mouth if she came out after the title match for Bianca winning. And, if it's going somewhere, great, but I'd hate for it just to take the shine off that because,
Yeah.
I don't know, something doesn't sit with me a little bit.
I understand. Phil, what's your call on this one, man? Obviously, look, it's enough to get a mention on our show like that. Obviously, Becky is trending. It's actually night one. It's a day one. I meant night one, sorry. Yeah.
You get WrestleMania 9 flashbacks with Becky coming out after the match is over.
Yeah.
To win the belt off Bianca in a 2-minute match.
No.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And you're like... if it was
like Becky has to come back now, or she can't come back for a few months. If she doesn't come back at WrestleMania, she can't come back till there's a crowd.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So if she doesn't come back, either in the next 2 days, she won't be back until May or June or July.
Yeah, is she going to come back though? That's the question. Like, who?
100%.
We could be all mistaken here. Like, obviously she's had a baby and stuff. Obviously, you know what I mean.
They could double turn us and have Ronda appear as well.
Yeah. Tim,
nobody knows what's going to happen. Becky Lynch done this as well at the Royal Rumble when she posted the picture of the curtain. So I'm not going to believe anything she tweets. But she is due to come back. The WWE president Nick Khan said it. He said Becky and Ronda are due both to come back very soon. Have her come up in the Bailey segment is what everyone is assuming. But as Elizabeth said, and fingers crossed it does happen, she comes out after the title match and she beats Bianca for the belt. I think that's a brilliant idea. That would make up for that being the main event.
What if they did a Rock and
Maybe
Cena
that's
thing
why it's the main event.
Called out Becky and Ronda come out and interrupted Bailey, and they set up a match for next year at WrestleMania between Ronda and Becky, the singles match we never got.
That's what they should do. That's what they should do.
That could happen. And you can build a match from one year to the other. We saw it with Rock and Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose
it's people want to think it as well.
Yeah, like if Becky's only going to come back on a part-time basis, which she probably will, then obviously be smart, come to WrestleMania, build a match, have a few camos throughout the year, and then wrestle them. Probably the smart way to do it. If it's going to happen,
Becky would be the horse. Becky would do all the work in the matches because she'd fight every month.
Yeah.
While Ronda waits to come fully in.
Everyone's part time at the moment, really, because they only have to film a Raw every week, and that's it. So
yeah,
there's no real travel anymore for the next few months anyway. That's why it'll suit Becky, you know, with having a child. She'll only have to wrestle on a Monday, and she's off then 6 days, like.
Yeah.
That's for the next 3 or 4 months, I believe, till June or July. So that'll give her time to adjust back to it, and then we'll have live crowds again, and they can do what they want.
Yeah. Now Ronda Rousey was dropped there, lads, right? Elizabeth Ger, you want Ronda Rousey to come back? Were you impressed with Ronda in, you know, her little stint with WWE, or do you think she should just stay away?
No, I was impressed with her, to be honest. I thought she held her own, and she definitely brought attention to the women's division for all the right reasons, regardless of her coming out afterwards for taking the shine off matches, whatever. Aside from that, I thought she really did. She held her own, and in a very, very positive way. So I'd be happy to see her back. And as Ger said, with the singles match that never happened with Becky, I'd be super invested in it for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, she was a natural fit. Like, she was the female Kurt Angle. Like, she just took it like a fish to water. Like, she knew what she was doing straight out the bat.
Believable. Yeah.
And she
I think her issue with traveling, she hates it.
Yeah.
You think she hates it, Phil?
Yeah, she said, I don't like the travel, the scheduling.
But she likes the wrestling, though. You could see the kid.
It's a bit like Brock Lesnar years ago, where it was like, I'm tired of going to all these places. But now, during the pandemic, it's a bit different. But once it gets going again, I can't see her coming in.
One thing I see is I don't think when we go back in June or July, I still think it's only going to be once a week. I don't think they're going to be doing house shows for a long, long time. So if you only have to travel once a week, that's not going to annoy anyone. Yeah. It's weekly there. They were doing 5 or 6 shows, and they could be 400 or 500 miles apart. That is a bad travel schedule, but you only have to travel one show. That's only one place.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
That's the travel schedule issue.
Definitely. We'll switch our attention, guys, to night one. It's going to be huge. Obviously, Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, Bad Bunny, Damian Priest versus The Miz, Morrison, The New Day, AJ, almost Strowman, McMahon, Cesaro, Rollins, obviously Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair. I'm going to start with that match first. Look, Sasha and Bianca. That's going to be a great match. It's got all the potential to be, one of the greatest female matches of all time. 2 absolute athletes. Timmy, what's your take of this match? Will Bianca win, or will Sasha retain?
Well, if if Becky Lynch comes out early in the night, I won't see that match because I'll go to bed because I have no interest in it being the main event. But Bianca surely is going to win because they need to get the belt off Sasha because she's a waste of space.
But let's be honest, she has been a good champion. I'm not going to, Sasha has everything.
But she can't cut a promo. She's absolutely atrocious.
She can't.
I know Tim turned.
I prefer listening to Otis.
Yeah, Tim, you turned on her after the podcast.
Yeah. Timmy, would you not tell her how to cut a promo because you're a promo man?
I wouldn't. I just want her to fuck off and go away.
Jesus. We'll have to edit that part out. Poor Sasha. Now look, we're all giving honest opinions. That's fair enough. Phil, what's your take on Bianca Belair, Sasha? Obviously, Stephanie announced it was going to main event day one. You like the match, and you think Bianca will win, or Sasha?
It's the match to main event night one. It is. Bianca's obviously clearly just going to win as well.
Yeah,
that's
clearly. There's no other way around it. Like, they won't end this show on a bad note after a pandemic.
But they're building it up as a history-making main event. Women have main evented WrestleMania before, so.
Oh, it's a one-on-one single match for the women have never had a single match.
Yeah. Elizabeth, I can see kind of, do your thing. What's the story? Do you think it's a good match? Do you think it's do you think Bianca will win? Do you think Sasha will retain? Do you think it's going to be a bit of a mad ending?
I'm rooting for Bianca. I really, really hope that she does, because as I mentioned before, she's not an underdog. She is a star. We know what she's capable of, and dare I say it, with a few more matches under her belt, she's the best in the ring. Yeah. She'd have a great match with Charlotte Flair for sure. She has everything, and I really, really hope they give it to her. I'm worried that they're going to go full on heel with Sasha because I know that she's the heel in this feud, but that they'll go full on heel with her and Bianca will lose. Now that's it. I really do hope they go down the route of, as Phil was saying, it's supposed to be historical, record breaking, boundary breaking, things like that. That's how they should finish the night, especially if they're starting it with Drew and Bobby, because we're going to need a lot to get over that, So I'm rooting for Bianca, but can see them switching it up with Sasha without anybody coming out to say hello, Tim. So let's not go down that road. But yeah, Bianca all the way.
Ger, are you gonna agree with your wife, or are you gonna?
Well, for the sake of the Royal Rumble, I hope she wins it, because I can't see Roman dropping it. So the 2 Royal Rumble winners, one of them has to win it.
Yeah.
It'll be pointless. Like, Royal Rumble is it's supposed to be a big thing. Like, if you win it, you're supposed to be almost guaranteed. If fucking WrestleMania win,
yeah,
it should be at least one of them. If there's 2 every year, at least one of them should be winning the title.
Wasn't there 1 year where there was 2 Rumble winners that win? Was that New Orleans, Tim?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Asuka and Nakamura.
Nakamura both lost, and that was a better taste than everybody's mouth.
And both our matches were atrocious.
Yeah, I remember.
We were there, and Nakamura Styles just got shat on. The whole arena just got bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't
that follow something else though? What match did that follow?
Was it Lesnar and Roman Reigns? Was it?
No.
I can't remember, but it's just everyone were so expecting the match to be so good because it was Nakamura Styles. But at the time, Nakamura was after getting bored. I know he won the Rumble, but he was starting to phone it in, so he was doing nothing, which he can do in his runs.
I remember Charlotte beat Asuka. That was unreal because she tapped her out. That was pretty cool. That was a good reaction.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. I enjoyed it.
Oh, it was surreal. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. Now, there's going to be cups flying, lads. The whole thing's gone fucking mad. It's gone from Bobby.
They repaired it a little bit on Raw. Was better.
Yeah, but it's gone a bit mad. And we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know, is Bobby going to drop? Is Drew going to retain? We don't know what's going to happen. Is there a work between MVP and Shelton? You know what I mean? Are the Hurt Business going to actually reform after this? We don't know what's going on, but Phil, what's your take? Obviously, the match itself, who's going to win and what's going to be the outcome and what's going to happen?
Lashley should win, but Drew's going to win. Definitely.
You put your hopes in there.
Oh, I was reading last night that Vince has given up on Alexander and Shelton.
He doesn't need to give up on Lashley, though.
I just think that they're just going to give Drew that moment now in front of the crowds.
Opening match makes me think they're going to give him the pop of being the first fellow to walk out. But I honestly think Lashley's going to squash him.
I hope he does.
I love it.
Leave Drew for a while then, and you have to know he's been there so long now throughout this whole pandemic and stuff that not the people are sick of him, but he could do with a bit of a break and a repackaging. Not a repackaging that's changed his character.
A refreshing.
Refreshing, yeah, that's the proper word. Yeah. And they should have Lashley destroy him, which could lead into SummerSlam facing Brock Lesnar.
They had a good match last year at Money in the Bank, I think it was, or was it the horror show?
By putting the belt on Lashley at the moment is the right time now to bring Brock in for SummerSlam, which they'll probably have full arenas because most of the states will be vaccinated. That's why Brock won't come in, because A, it's not a full arena, and B, he doesn't want to travel until everyone's vaccinated. Why take the belt back off him when everyone for the last 5-6 years wants to see Lashley versus Lesnar?
Yeah.
If they haven't squashed Drew, we'll all believe that maybe Lashley can beat Lesnar.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. Elizabeth and Joe, what's your take? Obviously, Bobby and Drew might start off the show. God only knows what's going to happen. It could be a fast match, lads.
It's been confirmed as the opening match.
It's confirmed as the opening match. I genuinely think it's going to be a squash match. Yeah. One way or the other.
Yeah. What's your take, guys? John Elizabeth, Matt?
It's hard, to be honest. I was kind of thinking as well, what Timmy was saying, that they're going to give Drew the first person out pop and the big entrance, etc., which is all well and good as long as they give Bobby the W, because we leave the Hurt Business in the past because it still hurts. But Bobby needs to win this, because to be honest, if he doesn't, he's never going to get another shot. He isn't. You know what I mean? He's a while into this game. They're never going to build him up like this again. And because he had such a strong team around him, regardless of what Vince thinks of the other lads for the Hurt Business. He had MVP as well, so it took a lot of work to get Bobby where he is. They're not going to invest in him that much again if he doesn't get the title this time round, you know, unless, unless they won't. But I will say one thing that does have me leaning slightly towards Bobby getting the title and Drew Bobby getting the title of Mania, because Bobby's video packages, in my opinion, seem to be a lot stronger than Drew's. I was watching, I thought Bobby's were really, really, like, I was invested in them. Drew, I was like, I've seen the kilt, I've seen the sword, I kind of don't give it anymore, which is a shame. Don't like to say that about Drew, but this is what they have done to his character, unfortunately. So absolutely, as the boy says, he needs to go away, rebrand, repackage, and come back like the Scottish psychopath. Not this, I'm just so happy to be here. Drew, you're more than worthy of being here, so we don't need the, oh, you know, I want to thank my family and friends. We don't need it, Drew, because we've seen it. We know you're worthy where you're being.
Yeah.
You're going.
Well, I hope, I just hoping Bobby wins it, because if it's going to be the one match, it'll leave a sour taste in the audience mouth throughout the whole show. They could end up booing the rest of the show. They will. Yeah. You know,
he deserves his pop, Joe, doesn't he?
I guarantee there'll be signs in the audience saying if Drew wins, you're right. There'll be definitely people having signs like that somewhere.
Won't even bring them in.
I reckon that Lashley will lose and be fighting Sheamus for the US title in 2 months.
Yeah, if he loses, that's where we're going.
Go back to bed, Philip, please. Go back to bed.
Yeah.
Well, that's
true. I guarantee you.
Elizabeth did say, right, like, I think she's on the ball with the whole, you know, like, you know, they built Bobby for so long, right? So if he loses the title tonight,
it's over.
Yeah, how are they going to rebuild him again when the Hurt Business are gone, which is an absolute fucking catastrophe. It's probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Like, they had the ability to be the Nation of Domination, or an elite brand. Like, we talk about, like, the Nation of Domination, we talk about so many fucking, you know, great stables all these years later. Like, the Hurt Business had that potential. So the fact it's all gone tits up. Now, I hope it's a work. I hope for some reason. Because obviously there's a leak. There's always, like, the WWE know how to leak stuff to the media, and you know, it gets out, like, all this stuff gets out. Normally it's true, but I just hope it's the case of we're all being brainwashed, and boom, the Hurt Business are all in the ring standing over Drew McIntyre tonight. I really hope that's what happens, but it's not looking likely, unfortunately. No. It's mad times ahead. It's going to be a crazy match, and I look forward to it. I'm going to switch quickly to a match that I think personally, lads, can steal the show on night one, and that's Cesaro and Seth Rollins.
Yeah. I reckon they can steal the show, the whole thing.
I really do.
Cesaro's first singles match at WrestleMania. He's there 10 years.
Yeah. Tim, do you reckon it's a big outcome for Cesaro? Do you reckon it's going to be, you know, an absolute, you know, the match will steal the show?
It's huge for him, and they'll finally get to show how good he is because of being a WrestleMania, and Rollins can just sell. He's brilliant. And Cesaro has to win, just a bit like Lashley, or he's finished. I think he will win. Yeah. Rollins is a great man to put him in there with. I think they're going to build Cesaro up. I think he could go challenge Reigns afterwards.
Yeah. But Rollins will actually take the loss. Like, that's the thing. Like, Rollins has no problem putting someone over, like.
Yeah. Especially someone like Cesaro. They had great matches in the Ring of Honor back in the day as well, like, so.
Yeah, I remember speaking to Rollins at in New Orleans in the media day, and I remember talking about I was chatting about, like, it was Nakamura, and I was chatting to him about Balor, and somehow Cesaro came into the conversation because he was behind us with Sheamus, and I said it to him, I goes, would you ever like to fight Sheamus? He was like, yeah. He goes, I'd like to fight Cesaro though. Cesaro will be a great match for me because Sheamus is so big. Like, Cesaro's kind of equal to my ability and my athletics, you know what I mean? And they're both kind of CrossFit trainers. And I wish I recorded the whole thing, like, but it was just, he was on about, like, how he respected Cesaro, how his ability in the ring was incredible. He was very underrated. And look what we have now, Cesaro and Rollins. It's mad, you know. Phil, what's your take on the match? Obviously, it's, you know, possibly going to steal the show.
Steal the show on both nights. Yeah. I think Cesaro is definitely winning. 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
And if he wins, obviously it's great going into Raw and SmackDown next week.
It is, but like as Tim said, he's going to build him up to Roman Reigns next.
Yeah, I love it. And, like, obviously if the crowd get behind Cesaro, as we know, anything can happen during Elizabeth. So, like, imagine Cesaro going into, obviously it's not a new year, but it feels like a new year when it comes to WrestleMania because everything kind of restarts. Would you like to see Cesaro beat Rollins and then go on? I know Elizabeth's a massive Rollins fan, and I know you are as well, Joe. Like, obviously, you can go either way. Like, Seth seems to be happy doing what he's doing at this moment. He'll happily put Cesaro over because we've seen, you know, he does what's best for business. But is it going to be a good match, and do you think it could steal the show?
Yeah, it would definitely steal night one anyway. Cesaro, like I said before, Seth Rollins wants to be the new Mr. WrestleMania, so he doesn't matter about wins or losses. He just wants to have the best match of the night. He lost last year to Kevin Owens, but automatically Seth ended up in the title match a few weeks later.
Yeah.
And Kevin Owens faltered. I just worry that they're going to do the same. Hopefully they don't do the same as Cesaro. If Cesaro beats him this time, that they actually give him a push instead of just moving on and pretending nothing happened.
Yeah.
I just hope it goes the way we want it to go, and Cesaro gets what he deserves.
Yeah. Like, we did see they dropped the ball with Cesaro before when he won the Andre Giant Battle Royal. Jesus Christ, he was like an absolute monster. And I think Heyman got involved with him for a while, didn't he? But they really dropped the ball because at that moment he really looked like a world beater. Like, this guy's going to go on and win the world title. So maybe it is time, 2021, where he does that. What do you think, Elizabeth? Do you think it's the case of Cesaro winning against Rollins and then look, boom, here we go?
It's now or never. They should have ran a country mile with the Cesaro section and really, really acted on the pop he had after the Andre the Giant. I mean, like, we weren't at that. I mean, we even stood up out of our seat when he lifted him up. Like, we were all just like, who is this guy? Even though we all knew, but it was like we finally saw him. And I must sound super worried and have fears all the time, but I do, because everything is so unpredictable when it comes to huge pay-per-views with WWE. Yeah. I cannot wait to see what Seth Rollins is wearing tomorrow night. Tonight. It's Saturday. I was thinking it was Friday tonight. And secondly, I do have a fear that we are leaning too heavily on the Cesaro swing. And I'm really worried that Seth Rollins is going to go over, because it's going to go a bit gimmicky about how many times Cesaro can swing him, and it's going to be over really, really quick. I would be sick if that happened, because I'm with you guys. I think this could steal the show completely from everybody over the 2 nights. Phil's definitely onto something. So worried that we're leaning too heavily on that, but hoping it's going to be an absolute showstopper.
Oh, I love it. Now, lads, I'm going to go to a couple of more matches quickly. We'll just go through them. Obviously, we have Braun and Shane McMahon, which is interesting. Obviously, it's a steel cage match.
Only the second ever cage match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and obviously it's Shane McMahon, so we know he's going to go clean through a table.
He deserves it after the career he's had. Shane does.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. Wrestler of the decade.
An underdog.
Of all time. Remember, he won the status of the greatest of all time. That was class.
Shane's taking the exact same fall that Kevin Owens took a few years ago.
I have a feeling, lads, that Braun and Shane are both going to go through a table at the same time. I just feel it's going to be a double moment, double whammy. Now, I don't know how dangerous it is for two to go through a table, because they probably both have to hit the table at the same time. But obviously, it'll be an interesting match given the fact it's a steel cage. Tim, can this match be any good? And do you think Braun will win, or do you think Shane's going to win?
I reckon you should skip me on this one before.
Tim's face says it all.
Yeah. I love Braun Strowman. I love Shane McMahon. I don't like this feud. They're all on about be a star and no bullying, and then they've Shane McMahon out there bullying a guy who could pick him up and fuck him over the roof.
Yes.
Yeah. What are they doing? What are they thinking? Like, how is Shane McMahon actually walking out and doing this every week?
Yeah.
Like, surely he has a brain cell. He's a smart man.
Very smart.
Surely there has to be. This storyline says one thing and one thing only: Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Grasping at straws.
Yeah.
Like throwing the green gunk over and bringing Elias and Jackson Riker in and just having them destroyed. Like, it's rubbish. I fast forward it. I actually go to the bathroom and it's on. It's almost as bad as Sasha.
Yeah. No, look, I love it, and you're honest, and that's what it's all about, and that's why we have you on the show, because you will say it how it fucking is, as you say.
I love the both of them, and They've had some great matches. Like I think Shane McMahon had a great match at WrestleMania a couple of years ago with AJ Styles. Like I was in shock at how good it was.
Yeah.
But like the storyline makes absolute zero sense.
It's the same as the Miz and Shane's storyline from last year, a couple of years ago. But worse. Shane had what do you call them? That faction that Killian Dane was in. Eric Young. Sanity. He had them backing him up to take out the Miz. Like, and the Miz took out all them and no one go away. You know, that kind of buried them forever.
It backfired. It was a great showcase for Miz.
Yeah, but there's a great match. Like, with the storyline building up, it was brutal.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, as you say, you cannot look like we all love Braun and Shane, and we love them for so many reasons. That, like, you know what I mean? They're absolute legends. But yeah, look, as you say, steel cage, WrestleMania.
Squash.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, Phil, go on, squash.
I think Shane's going to go on top of the cage straight away to get away from him and fall off straight away.
Yeah,
that means he wins.
I think he's just going to try and get away from him.
Yeah, if he gets out, he wins, don't he?
It's a highlight reel, of Shane going off the old cage as usual.
But he's done this. He went off the settle at WrestleMania before, like, so.
I know.
The time Steve Blackman started belting him with the old kendo stick up on top of the title shot, that time was pretty cool as well.
Loved Steve Blackman.
Do you remember the rumor, Tim, that he wanted to go on top of the big TV? Yeah.
Did they beg him not? That would have killed him. What's he thinking? He's not a young man, and he's not a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, Tim, watch your mouth.
I think there's actually one thing about him. I think there must be something lacking in his head.
Hi, I'm Shane McMahon. Welcome to Jackass.
Like, your man is basically almost a billionaire, and he's getting well on, and he still wants to wrestle. I love him for it, because there's not many out there that aren't, fully wrestlers. That I know they're saying, but he's taken away from WrestleMania. He's not. He adds to WrestleMania, but not in this storyline.
Well, I love
Braun anyway will win.
Yeah,
Braun will win.
Braun will win, of course he will.
No one ever talks bad about Shane. Nobody. Every wrestler you ever speak to, I fucking love Shane McMahon. So,
remember when Kurt Angle threw him through the glass, and he actually threw him through the wrong glass, so he keep throwing him through it, because Shane kept saying to him, "Throw me, throw me, throw me," and like that nearly killed him.
Yeah,
they went to the wrong window. They didn't throw him through the gimmick glass. That shows how committed he is.
So you could see him hit his head off the floor.
Yeah,
you can actually see him hit his head off.
I remember that. I just hope he's okay, because we know Shane's going through. He's going off the cage anyway. There's no doubt about that. Like, he's going off the cage. Obviously, the New Day, AJ Styles. You know what I mean? Raw tag team.
It'll just be by the numbers that AJ will win.
Yeah. Omos will win, I think.
Yeah.
I think he'll get the pinfall.
I'll go to the potential match of the century, guys. Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, The Miz, and Morrison. It's probably the biggest match in all of history.
I'm glad they changed it to a tag match.
I have great respect for Bad Bunny. He moved to Florida and trained every day in the Performance Center. He's been on every single show, every single Raw since he came into this. Yeah. Like, I have nothing but respect for him coming in as the celebrity involvement, because
this is going to surprise people, by the way.
He shows how committed he is to it, because he doesn't want to take away from WrestleMania by coming in and basically standing on the apron and getting a pinfall. He plans on doing something in the match. Yeah. They changed their tag team match, obviously, because at the start, Priest and Morrison were both injured, so they were worried about him. Now they can come in and make it a better match. Won't be a long match, but like, his deserves another WrestleMania moment. This will always be talked about, just like they always talk about Mayweather at WrestleMania and all the celebrities at WrestleMania. Like, but I have great respect for Bad Bunny. I usually don't like the celebrity involvement in matches.
Yeah,
but I don't mind him being involved in it.
Yeah,
he's been training with Adam Pearce, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Apparently so. Yeah, he's been there for months training with him. So absolute respect.
Yeah, it's as you say, it's got, like, publicity wise, it's really done well. Obviously, Bad Bunny's actually a great guy. I was telling you the story. I was up in the park the other day with Leon, and some guy had music on. He was doing tricks on his BMX bike, and I Shazammed the song, and it was actually Bad Bunny. So obviously, like, he's got a massive following. It's probably the one time they brought in a celebrity where it actually has worked. Obviously, the Miz and Morrison, like, I always kind of feel bad for the Miz, the way he was quashed and squashed, and the way he really does what's best for business. But, like, obviously to lose the title so fast, and then, to see the way he lost the title and stuff was a bit mad. But, like, The Miz deserves credit, guys. He's just an entertainer. Like, he really will do, what he's asked to do, and he does it so good, So it's a win-win for him at this Mania, because obviously everyone's talking about the match. Everyone's going to watch the match. No one's going to turn it off.
No.
Yeah. I hope Damian Priest gets a big showing at it, because I think he's going to be a future big star.
I just hope we've got one NXT star that does get that run, because I want to switch to the fact that we were seeing, there's a lot of topics at the moment about the wrestlers that aren't on the card. Now, obviously, Bayley will come out, but that's no doubt about it, because Bayley's going to come out and have that segment, and people will probably come out and follow her. But there's so many stars not on that lineup, lads. And we mean elite stars. I think
isn't there over 10 wrestlers from last year not on it?
Yeah.
More.
Which is mad.
Nakamura not being on the card is criminal.
It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
They built him up so well for the last few months, and then all of a sudden, even last night in the Battle Royal, he was built up well. I know he lost it, but he didn't look bad in losing it. They had him eliminating people left, right, and centre.
Yeah, it's just an absolute joke. It's a catastrophe. You know what I mean? For a guy that won a Rumble, got a massive pop, went to Mania, lost. He's done nothing since.
Yeah.
But as you said, there's so many names that aren't, potentially performing at this year's WrestleMania. Obviously, it's a stacked card. We have night 1 and night 2. Now, that's obviously in front of an audience. It's a first, because obviously we know last year there was kind of there was the 2 nights, but there wasn't really spectators there. Obviously we were all watching, but it's going to be unreal. We're going to switch to night 2 in a sec, but if you could pick, one outcome, one match. So we have 7 matches on night 1, guys. What's the story? Obviously the main event. We have Lashley and Drew starting the show. What really stands out to you, and what are you really looking forward to, Tim? Out of the 7 matches, what's the real one that you're looking forward to?
Cesaro Rollins.
Perfect.
It's going to steal the show.
Yeah.
See him.
I'm going to say Sasha Banks and Bianca.
That's just to annoy me.
No, it's not. I just if they fuck that up, they're in real trouble. If they fuck that match up.
Yeah.
I think Elizabeth's onto something when she said it's going on last, so Becky can come up and steal it like WrestleMania 9. I think that should happen.
Yeah.
We're lost for a bit.
I know. I put it out in the universe now, and we're fecked.
Anybody have Pritchard's phone number so we can ring him?
I just don't want I just don't want to take away from Bianca. I really don't, because they've really, the build for that match, they've really kind of half-assed it only in the last week or two. Now we're starting to see clear heels and faces, and we're not I got you, no, I got you, no, I got you, and all that crap is gone now, and we're finally starting to see a bit of development in the feud between the two of them, because they've wasted a lot of time from when Bianca won the Rumble till now. So I would just, if she put on a stellar match and won, and then somebody else came out and just kind of took it away from her a little bit. Love Becky Lynch to bits, but I would much prefer her to see her to come out later to a crowd, just not tonight.
If Sasha wins, would you be happy with Bayley, or would you be happy with Becky coming out? If Sasha won?
Yes, 100%. Because Sasha has the title, she has the glory, she has the experience of being, I'm the best in the business and everybody is me and all this kind of crap. She has all of that. Bianca hasn't, you know what I mean? So everyone is going to root and shout for Bianca tomorrow night. I think Sasha will get a very, very mixed reaction if she wins.
Right, so day 2 WrestleMania, obviously it's going to be huge, guys. Now, day 1, we had a good chat, good debate. Obviously, Becky Lynch, there's a lot of talk of Becky coming in and stuff. But day 2, it's pretty cool, I must say. I really do like the layout. Obviously, there's some great matches there. It's really hard to debate on paper if night 1 and night 2 are better, because obviously, there's Bobby and Drew, obviously Sasha, Bianca, Rollins, and Cesaro. But look, when you come to Rhea Ripley, first of all, an absolute icon. I think Rhea Ripley could be one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time. Watching her since NXT, the way she's changed her image, she's got this really good vibe about her, right? Phil, is it time for Rhea Ripley to shine, or Asuka gonna retain? Obviously, 2 amazing female wrestlers, but Rhea Ripley could have has a really good momentum going into this match. What's your take on it, and what's the outcome?
I think the match will be really good.
Yeah.
I could be better than Sasha.
Yeah.
Overall, match-wise, but I actually think Rhea 100%.
You think it's her time to win, yeah?
Yeah. Asuka's had this since SummerSlam, I think.
Yeah.
She's had it quite a while.
She's only defended it like 3 times.
Yeah.
I suppose pandemic and stuff then as well. It's crazy. But like, obviously we're enjoying everything that's going on. Now, not always at WrestleMania we see all the titles change. There's a lot of titles, you know what I mean, on show this WrestleMania. But you know what I mean. There's something about Ripley. I think the company absolutely love her. Absolutely love her. Like, we're seeing, you know, a lot of kind of pieces being put up on the website, WWE.com. And you know what I mean? She's always in good matches. We've seen what happened at the Rumble, where herself and Bianca were the last 2, and it was kind of the case, right? You just missed it by a shave. Now, we've seen what happened. We've seen, look, the finish was a bit mad. But, you know, Ger and Elizabeth, like, it's, you know, the women's wrestling's getting really big. They're you know, they're starting to headline main events. They're you know, they're getting the recognition they deserve. Is it time for Ripley to win the Raw Women's Championship, or is Asuka going to retain?
I think Rhea has this. I hope she does. I think she has been the very, very fortunate victim of a sequence of very, very fortunate events. I think that was supposed to be Charlotte who was in her place. But I think because of how things rolled out, to be honest, I think Rhea was due to come out on Raw after Mania. And she wasn't supposed to be in this picture at all. So it's actually great for her, we'll say, the way that rolled out. And it could be the probably luckiest accident that she'll ever have. Yeah. Because WWE seemed now to be, even though it kind of seems like it was a bit slapstick at the start and just kind of thrown together, now they seem super invested and behind her. I think she's winning, and I think Asuka's going to kind of fade back down a little bit to obscurity. There is no reason for Asuka to continue this reign. I can't see any good reason for her to win, because once Charlotte defeated her streak, she kind of lost a little bit of credibility as the best in the world, if that makes sense. So, you know, I can't find any other reason for Asuka to win. So I think, yeah, it's time for Rhea to shine. She's different, she's new, she's young. She's like this now, and she's 24 or something like that. 24, yeah. Madness. Can you imagine her on the roster for a good couple of years, and she develops that bit further? She's going to be unstoppable. So yeah, all the way for Rhea.
And she'll make history becoming a women's champion in all 3 brands, like NXT UK, NXT.
Yeah, I think she'll get it. I agree with everyone. Tim, like, what's your take? Obviously, look, we know all about Rhea Ripley. Asuka, an absolute legend, icon. Will go down as a Hall of Famer, as one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time. What's your take? Obviously, look, we're all going to miss Charlotte Flair. It's quite mental that she's not going to be there. Look, there's many rumours circulating. There's a lot of stuff going on. But what's your take on the match and the outcome?
Rhea 100% has to win it.
Yeah.
Asuka has gone backwards. That she has.
Well, she's going to team up with Io after WrestleMania.
Yeah, Kabuki Warriors 2.0. But you're not in your heads, what's the truth?
Stereotype.
You can see it happening.
She's not that type of person though. She's a badass. Like, Kairi Sane wasn't a badass. Like, she should never have been a heel whenever the Kabuki Warriors debut.
Yeah. Maybe they should send Asuka back to NXT for a while. Freshen her up.
I'm all for sending wrestlers back to NXT. Some of them need to.
Yeah, I send them across. Let them switch brands. Like, they're not going down now when they go to NXT. They're keeping their salary whenever they go. Like, Finn Balor doesn't lose any money going to NXT. Like,
and like when Kevin Owens, I know he only showed up for one match during that War Games. Like, but he actually asked, could he go to NXT for a run? They turned him down because they needed him on the main roster. But he wanted to go back there. Rollins himself said that he'd enjoy going back there.
Yeah, wasn't Andrade offered a spot there recently?
Andrade was offered a spot, but at that stage he wanted back out. Aleister Black asked to go back. I think he could still show up back there. Yeah. I think he's not coming back to the main roster. I think he could show up Tuesday night in NXT.
Yeah, it's
Black versus Cross.
Yeah.
It's got everyone talking. We're going to come to the better stuff in a few minutes, but like, obviously Charlotte not being involved in this Mania, guys, it's a bit crazy because, like, you know what I mean.
Unless Charlotte still shows up.
I might show up after the Asuka match.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I'm gonna pull a Daniel Bryan and just appear anywhere, any match.
I know.
Does this already?
Triple threat with Braun and Shane. Now she's going to appear up in the cage.
It's absolutely mental. I must say, this Daniel Bryan popping up in all these emojis and all these.
Godzilla versus Kong versus Bryan.
I love it. I love it. We're going to go to another match. Obviously, we're going to go to Roman Reigns, guys. Edge and Daniel Bryan. Yes, Daniel Bryan. He's in the match. Triple threat for the championship. It's going to be a good match. Obviously, look, anything can happen in a triple threat. Now, over the weeks, we've all pretty much said that Roman's going to retain. John Elizabeth, is your prediction still the same? Is Roman going to retain, or is it the case Bryan?
I'll take this one. She's gone off and won there. She can't stop laughing. I think Roman's definitely going to go over. We said it before. Daniel Bryan's only there to kick the pin. It'll protect Edge. It'll protect Roman, and do so. So probably get involved somewhere down the lane as well.
Is Bryan done after this match, Ger? What's your take? Do you think he should stay around for another year, or do you think it's done?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what. Off you go. She's gone. I don't know what Daniel Bryan's going to do after this, because he wasn't doing anything up until the build of the match, and until he got involved, he was losing to everybody and putting other people over. So I don't know what to do with him after this. Whether he just disappears for a while.
Yeah. Now, how has Daniel Bryan got caught up in all these emojis and all these, edited photographs of he's just popping up everywhere. Trophies next to John Terry with a Champions League trophy.
I think it took off with the Godzilla and King Kong, because it was out the same week, and somebody just stuck him into it, and then it just became a thing, and they were trying to find other things to stick him into.
It's a pretty big thing. Like, this could be a thing that will go with him for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah. Phil, what's your take? We'll get Elizabeth back in a sec.
I actually think Edge is going to win.
You think Edge is going to win?
Yeah. I'm only seeing it because there was rumours yesterday that he was going to win. And also Paul Heyman's contract is up.
Yeah. It just remains to be seen. Obviously, we're all kind of rooting for... as mad as this sounds, I think a lot of people are actually rooting for Roman.
That's because he's booked right and people like it.
Yeah. It's just mad. Tim, what's your take? Obviously, look, Bryan got into the match. We're seeing what's happening. He's popping up everywhere. Probably be, in Visitors Park later on in the picture. He's everywhere. So, look, what's your take and what's the outcome?
My head says, and smart people think it's going to be Roman Reigns, but I kind of am starting, after watching SmackDown last night with all these promos, I was starting to agree with Philip. I think Edge is going to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won't get a long reign. He'll get it 2 or 3 months.
Unless they pull it out of left field and do give it to Daniel Bryan out of nowhere.
And I would not be sad. I'd love it.
I'm happy with any of them winning, but I really think Roman Reigns needs to keep it. With the new rumor is The Rock doesn't want to wrestle until Los Angeles, which is 2 years' time now. So maybe they can't keep the belt on him that long. So maybe they are going to leave him lose this, and he's not going to lose clean if he does lose it, because they can't lose this character. But Daniel Bryan maybe could win, or Edge. I want Roman Reigns to win, but I'm starting to go down the route of Edge. Edge was brilliant on SmackDown last night.
Yeah.
It was his best promo since he came back.
He was ripping into it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Elizabeth?
Yeah.
What's your
laughing?
No, I was going to say it's like last year with Randy Orton. He was similar.
It's better than his stuff with Orton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So,
I think the guys are onto it as well. I think Edge's promos have been super strong. And last night was one of his best. Nobody does a heel promo better than heel Edge, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, any of them to win, I still I've heard it all before with Daniel and Bryan. I know it's terrible, but I just feel like I've heard the same promo back in WrestleMania 30 build up. I just feel like I keep hearing the same thing, that, you know, nobody's ever given him a chance. And I'm like, you've weaseled your way into everything. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I do. But you've weaseled your way into everything. Do you know, it's just so the poor me doesn't cut it. So Edge has every right to go out there and say, no, I won. It's my shot. Why are you there? Do you know? So I think Edge could take it, to be honest. You know, but it'll be interesting to see what happens then with Daniel Bryan after that.
Yeah. Well, as Tim said, he's up in September.
The tag team match.
He's up in September. His contract.
Contract's up in September, and he said he's not signing a new one.
Yeah.
I could see him fighting Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, to be honest with you.
Maybe that
Really?
he said his bucket list.
Yeah.
He's a couple of wrestlers left, but he's not going to sign full time anywhere. So maybe they'll bring him in for Wrestle Kingdom. I don't see him going to AEW.
No.
I know everyone are saying, "Oh, everyone goes there." I don't see him doing that because he
No.
sees what's happening. There are just too many. But I could see him doing maybe a short run in New Japan, a la Jericho. You know, just show up for the big shows, not there every week.
Yeah.
Nope. You just mentioned Jericho, right? I'm not going to talk about it for more than 3 minutes, but obviously we've seen a picture on Instagram where there's a picture of him and there's a WWE plane. we don't know what the fuck is going on. Now, clearly he's with AEW, but
Very
That was from the podcast where they flew him in.
has
troll.
He posted
such
that
a troll.
picture the day the podcast and deleted it. It's an old
Yeah, the picture was taken in Tampa Airport, so he could have flown to Tampa Airport and the plane could have been there already. He just walked up and took a picture with it. Or, like Phil said, he took it a week ago when he did the podcast.
Yeah.
He uploaded it a week ago and deleted it.
Did he?
Did
There
he?
you go.
Oh,
That answers it. So there's no more to
Really?
talk about. There's no more to talk about.
Troll.
Back to Mania. Obviously, look, Alexa Bliss, The Fiend, Randy Orton singles match. We were all kind of hoping Bo Dallas was going to play a part in this, but apparently rumors have been squashed. Bill, what's your take on this match, and will it be any good, and are you looking forward to it?
Oh, it's going crap. They fought. When did they fight? A few years back. It was absolutely rubbish.
33, yeah.
And that was a title match. So this is going to be. I'm going to go out all out and say this is going to be a dud.
They had
Rubbish.
the red ring and all for that match. That was atrocious.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no star rubbish. I don't even care about it. I don't even want to watch it, to be honest with you.
You do.
I do not. This is like the Sasha for me. Like, I just don't care about it.
Yeah. Tim, what's the outcome? Orton's going to
It's
win.
good. Orton's going to be squashed.
But the
And
thing
you-
is, it's
They
continuing.
want to
for
do.
another
They want to
2
do a
months,
cinematic match for them. They can't do it obviously because you can't really have a match on the screen at the first WrestleMania back. Imagine the fans going, "We can't see Orton and the Fiend," and they're on the television screen. They're not going to be too impressed.
Yeah.
So they'll do a cinematic at Money in the Bank. I'd say they could have nearly just kept this off the card. Maybe done a moment of bliss segment with their playground or whatever her rubbish is. Talks that she might come over in a mask now as well, like, which is it's a bit overkill, I think.
Yeah.
Like, this feud is going on for about 8 months.
yeah.
I don't mind.
And
I
the
don't mind.
storytelling is shocking.
Yeah.
I don't mind feuds going on for a long time. Like they had Orton shot in the face with the fireball one week, and his face was destroyed for weeks. And then a few weeks later, he was shot in the face again, and it was better fucking 3 days later. Like,
Yeah.
they're inconsistent. It's going to be a squash match over instantly.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It's going to be the Fiend go over him, and it's going to lead to this cinematic match.
I reckon there'll be one wrestling move, and that's his finisher.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
mad.
could be.
I'll switch. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn with Timmy's favourite Logan Paul. Tim, obviously you're delighted Logan Paul's involved in WrestleMania.
I hope he gets thrown off the pirate ship and watches his landing on his head, maybe. Hopefully on his
Logan
head.
Paul.
You were telling me, Tim, if you weren't at Access and Logan Paul was there for a photograph, you wouldn't go in for a
I queue
photograph.
up to meet Hornswoggle first. saying that no. At WrestleMania 6, I did, or 26, I did queue up to meet Hornswoggle. So.
Was that a short queue?
I love the pun.
They had his queue and he came out from underneath the ring to sign their stuff.
Class.
It's obviously, look, we know the history of the two. Like, you know, obviously Owens and Sami Zayn are good mates. I like Sami Zayn of late because his dance is incredible. The way he danced to that WrestleMania team was pretty cool. Obviously, it's an interesting match. Phil, does it have a potential to be a good match this WrestleMania?
I think if Logan Paul stays out of it, yes.
Yeah.
Not staying out of it. He even had his Langer over brother on SmackDown as well last night with him. Like.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So I think Kevin Owens wins anyway. Either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Sammy's going to win.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Jordan.
Yeah. What's your take on the match? Obviously, look, we're seeing Logan Paul's come in. It's a bit of obviously Sami Zayn's got this conspiracy thing going on, which is quite good. Everyone's out to get him. I kind of like that. Do you think the match could be good?
Yeah, I think it'll match Rollins and Cesaro for a match of tonight for night 2. I don't know what they're doing with Logan Paul in it. Like, I don't know if he's going to get involved or what. Like, but I think they'll put on a great match. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are so they know each other so well that there's no reason why they can't put on a 15-minute show stealer. Like.
Yeah, It's interesting. Elizabeth, same take?
Yes. Few queries though. Firstly, I want to see Kevin Owens jump off that pirate ship, but if they have a normal match, I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what he wanted to do last year, so it would be cool if he got to fulfill his destiny, Secondly, I'm worried that Logan Paul and Sami are in a ruse, and Logan Paul's going to cost Kevin Owens the match as well.
There you go. With a boxing
he'll punch him and he'll say this is Mayweather's next, just to get publicity.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
I can't see Sami losing because they're actually going to releasing this documentary on the network.
I can't wait.
Oh, that's the only thing I can't wait for more than that is the Jericho one. But I think Logan Paul is going to knock out Kevin Owens, and they can bill it like a boxer's punch because obviously he's done boxing like Mayweather.
Like Buff Bagwell and Piper.
Love it. Quickly going to switch to the Nigerian drum fight.
Does anybody
Nobody
know
knows what it is. Nobody cares what it is.
He doesn't know what it is.
Right? You apparently beat your opponent until, I don't know, it's like you beat them until they sound like a drum or something like that, because as I said, I thought it was going to be like a pure dance-off, but no.
Only Sheamus and Walter can beat people to make it sound like a drum.
Yeah. Right?
It's an ODQ match, but remember the old symphony match that Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler had where he kicked him through the drum and it went through the drum and booted Ziggler in the face. Yeah. That was a great spot. So I'd say there's going to be a load of drums there for no reason other than the fact that it's a Nigerian drum match.
I said the intro. The entrance would be pretty cool, and that's probably it.
Yeah, Big E's getting a live entrance as well, so he's obviously losing.
Yeah, he's going to lose. Yeah.
Interesting. We'll swap quickly to our very own Sheamus versus Riddle. Kind of pissed off that Sheamus isn't in the match with Drew and Bobby because I like triple threats. Sheamus, guys, do you think he's going to beat Riddle? It seems clear as day he's probably going to beat Riddle.
I actually think he'll lose.
I think he's going to get screwed.
Yeah, I think he's going to lose, yeah.
Or Riddle will get all serious in the match because he's been shown that he can get serious when he needs to, even though he has this shoot. What's with the birds?
I love it.
Would it not surprise anyone if it's moved?
You got on the drink, Jerry?
No,
the birds are going to be floating around Riddle's head after the match. They're going to pick them in afterwards.
Would this be moved to pre-show at night too?
It probably will be, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, obviously, look, Sheamus was on a good run. Obviously, we've seen the whole Drew thing. It fizzled out quite fast, in my opinion. But look, we all have opinions on that. Obviously, Riddle is getting a bit of a push lately. Obviously, he's the champion. He's got this cool bird thing going on, Angry Birds, whatever it is.
Cool birds.
What do you think is cool, Jerry? Jesus. Oh,
look, my small fella loves it, and that's all that matters. I think he's that. Look at him with the birds around him. I was like, yeah,
with the birds. Yeah.
No. But look, Sheamus is going to lose. I think a few of you think Sheamus is going to lose.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Jar, is he going to lose?
Shame.
No, I think he has to. He's going to get rewarded for his matches against Drew. Like the 3 matches he had against Drew, they got standing ovations backstage. Vince loves Sheamus.
Yeah,
it's clear that he loves Sheamus because he never really buried him. Like he's never really, thrown him on the pre-shows before, even though it made him on this pre-show. But I think he's going to reward him just for those matches alone with Drew and give him the title.
Yeah. The US title means nothing since they've had it on Raw lately. Like so. Yeah. Maybe they're going to build back up the title, but like there's no one there even for him to feud with if he wins it. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, it's
Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Well,
Makes sense.
Maybe, yeah.
wouldn't mind that.
I think we're all for that. Now, I left a certain match for the end. Just given the reason it's question mark. Obviously, Nia Jax, Shayna, tag team, turmoil winners. A lot of rumours floating about that the
Bella Twins.
Yeah, well, I love it because they are big names. I don't care what anyone says.
Do you like
I think the Bellas.
I do. I'm a fan of their
I
wrestling and their whole, package.
Like that feud with Stephanie and Brie Bella was more entertaining than anything I see these days on Raw.
Yeah.
So you think it's the case the Bellas will come back for that one match?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, they'll have to win the match on the first night if they want to wrestle on the second night.
Yeah. It's interesting.
They left out, the graphics showing the 5 women, and they said it's a tag team turmoil match. They left it open, just like remember at WrestleMania in Florida when the Hardy Boys came back.
Yeah.
I was there. That was that was a pop, and they're going to try and relive that. Did you know WWE took that out of their top WrestleMania moments, which is so
criminal.
They have Chris Jericho's going to be on the network as a member of the AEW roster, but they took out biggest pop in it is the biggest pop in WrestleMania that I've ever heard. Yeah. I've been to 4 Manias, and the place exploded. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
They should never have taken it down. That was just wrong.
The Bella Twins will obviously get the pop. Look, when you look at tag teams, obviously, the Bella Twins probably stand out. There's talks maybe Trish Stratus and Lita. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I think Elizabeth Ger will agree it's definitely pointing towards the Bella Twins.
It is, but look, come here, it's nothing against them. They know the business. They know how to play the game. They know how to create a fortune from playing the game. But, and this is not meant in any way disrespectful to them, because I've all the respect in the world for them for building their empire, and making a living off it. But I'm kind of worried that they think they're more over than they are. I really, really do. And I'm kind of like, I'm indifferent about this whole thing. And I mean, I should be super excited about this, but I really do think they think they're more over than they are. And they're certainly not going to get the pop that WWE think they're going to get, because when they moved into the spotlight with their personal lives and their projects outside of WWE, that's where their fandom grew. It most certainly wasn't for their in-ring skills, even though they did polish them up towards the end of before their in-ring retirement, they certainly did. But I just think it would be an absolute shame, because as least as they care about the tag team division on either brand, we have a few tag teams in the women for this. Do you know what I mean? Ones that are believable as tag teams, aside from Carmella and Billie Kay, who we love. But Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose look like a tag team. So I really don't have anything to say other than I don't know why we would want them back. And that's not a bad thing.
I think they want
their stepdad is the new head booker. That's why they're going to get it. Johnny Laurinaitis.
Oh, daddy. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
No, but they want the tag title run as well.
Yeah. But look, it's someone said the other day I'd get more of a pop off the Iconics returning than the Bella Twins.
Yep. Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
So it remains to be seen, will the Iconics come back as well?
Peyton Royce take out Carmella. I'd love it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Right, guys, it's been a pleasure. WrestleMania pre-show. We've given our predictions of night 1 and night 2. Becky Lynch can possibly return among other people. The Bella Twins rumored to return. We gave our predictions on Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Reigns, Edge and Bryan. A few people saying they reckon Edge is going to win. Roman will retain. Someone turned out that Bryan might win. Obviously, Lashley, Drew McIntyre, we don't know what the fuck is going to happen there. Crazy. It's going to be fucking mad. Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, we got to take, obviously, all leading towards Bianca Belair. Cesaro, Rollins, we believe, may steal the show, which is rightly so. Shane McMahon is definitely going through a fucking table. Covey, Xavier Woods, the New Day. Obviously, you know, Omos, AJ Styles. Omos is probably going to get the pin. Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, The Miz, Morrison. Bad Bunny's not going to lose that match. The Nigerian drum fight will be known for its entrance. Now, it could be a good match. It might just bedazzle us all. You know, it has the potential to be a great match because they're both good wrestlers. Logan Paul, Mr. WrestleMania, as Tim said. Sami Zayn, obviously Owens, could be a great match. The Fiend, Randy Orton, we don't know what's going to happen. Probably a lot of fire. They'll both disappear. Yeah, interesting. Guys, thank you very much for joining me for our WrestleMania on WrestleMania Day show. Anyone tuning in right now, get your wings, get your garlic bread, your onion rings, your waffles, your donuts, your Doritos, your hunky dories. If you're from Ireland, your potatoes. Yeah, get it all ready. It's going to be a massive. I'm actually going to stay up for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
And I've got kids, and I'm going to stay up. Day 1 and day 2, I'm going to stay up. NXT, I thought about it. I was like, no, I'm probably going to be up at 7 in the morning, so I won't get any sleep. But look, tonight, I will be up. Tonight, you will see me respond to our WhatsApp messages or our messenger messages. So I will be online. Guys, it's an absolute pleasure. Looking forward to returning next week with all the outcomes and all of what's happened. Elizabeth Ger, Tim, Phil, happy WrestleMania Day.
Yeah.
Have fun, enjoy.
Shout out to Matt and his brother as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah, sorry. Matt Murphy, our very own Matt Murphy. He got caught up in a bit of business this morning. Matt, we love you, brother, and we will see you back next week. Matt will be tuned in as well. Guys, enjoy Mania in a couple of hours. God bless, be safe. Talk soon.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.